watching NickBox.com. My name is Nick.
And this is my box.
One of the first things that I remember about being a kid was reading. And I used to stay up super late, which was honestly probably like 9:30 or 10 o'clock. But I would stay up late reading all of these books and just getting lost in these worlds, loving to read. And reading was one of those things that, it never put me to sleep because it was too interesting. I would sit there for hours, it seemed like.
I would read all these stories and my mom would have to come in and shut the lights off, which, I would just turn on 5 minutes later when she went to bed.
Now, I don't remember what I read when I was a little kid, but I do remember I read a lot of the Hardy Boys. Matter of fact, I still have quite a few of the books and a bunch more up on the bookcase.
Now, I do remember we were supposed to set up some sort of a display in the library, kind of a way to kind of display reading and how much fun it was. And at the time, I was very, very young, and I had all these little pound puppies. And I set up this display of, this kind of mother pound puppy reading the Hardy Boy books to her babies. And I got so many positive comments about that, that it still makes me smile to this day.
Yes, so what? I like the pound puppies. You got a problem with that?
I sure hope not, because you should never, ever stifle a child's creativity.
And then 5th grade came along. We got a substitute teacher who absolutely loved reading to us, and it was one of my favorite things that she ever did, because she introduced me to the BFG. This has always been one of my favorite books, and my introductory into Roald Dahl. If I ever have kids, these are going to be the things that they absolutely will be reading.
I loved Roald Dahl because the books were so different. They were fantasy. They were in a different world, and it just kind of opened my eyes to something completely creative and something completely new, something outside of reality.
Now, I can't quite remember when this was. I think it was the summer after 5th grade, but I met this girl over the summer. Her name was Darcy, and she was so cute. I had such a crush on her, but she was only in town for the summer. She was here visiting and was leaving after that. And one of the things that we kind of connected with was reading. And one of her favorite stories were the Chronicles of Narnia.
I hadn't read it at the time, but when she told me about it, I was hooked. I was fascinated. I had to get those books, so I got my mom to go out and take me and pick up the entire series so that I could read these books.
Now, Darcy left, and I don't know whatever happened to her. She just kind of disappeared, and I never got in contact with her again.
I will always remember that summer and the time that we had and think of that fondly. But more importantly, it made a lasting impression because of these books.
Time went on, and I read a lot more books. We were supposed to do a biography on an author, and I thought, what better author to do a biography on than Isaac Asimov? But therein lies my biggest mistake.
Dude, seriously, the guy's got 3 autobiographies that are like that thick each.
He's got like 515 books to his name.
He practically invented modern day science fiction, and on top of that, he's got books ranging from, the science fiction, which we all think of, but to science and politics and just everything you could possibly think of. I heard a friend of mine once talk about the fact that she could not get away from Isaac Asimov because no matter what class she took, he wrote a book about it.
But when it comes down to it, we owe this guy a huge amount of the world that we live in today. He invented so many different things. He even coined the term robotics. As always, I want to say thank you for watching, and thanks for being awesome.